Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the April 8th Water Committee meeting. And I'd like to start by acknowledging that we're meeting today on the traditional unceded territory of the Comox First Nation, and we appreciate their stewardship of the lands and waters since time immemorial. And the first item we have on our agenda is the resolution status report. Moved and seconded. Are there any questions about that report? Seeing none, all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. The next item under reports is the Comox Valley Water Management Advisory Committee minutes. Moved and seconded. And are there any questions or discussion about that report? Seeing no lights. Anybody opposed to receipt? Seeing none, that's carried. The next item is the BC Landscape Water Calculator. And I think we'll get a motion for receipt. Moved and seconded. And we will turn it over to staff for discussion. Thanks.
Thanks, Chair. Chris LaRose is here and we'll be introducing the staff report. Chris is our Senior Manager of Water Wastewater Services. Chris.
Thank you, James, and through the chair, good afternoon, everyone. So the report in front of you, staff is bringing forward a recommendation that we be directed to work with the local municipalities to implement the BC Landscape Water Calculator here in the Comox Valley. Earlier this year, Kim Stevens and Derek Richmond approached us about rolling out the calculator within the Comox Valley. We've worked with the partnership quite a bit over the years, CVRD staff as well as Courtney and Comox on a range of rainwater and water conservation issues. So we've got a pretty strong history with them. The calculator, the water landscape calculator, is an online tool that the partnership has developed in partnership with others to help residents and businesses plan their landscaping and planting to minimize outdoor water use. So I think it aligns very well with our local priorities to help better navigate drought conditions. It's been implemented in the CRD and in Abbotsford to very positive reviews, and it's currently being implemented in the process of being implemented in RDN and in Cowichan Valley Regional District. So while the tool was relatively expensive to develop, thanks to other generous sources of funding, and I think the tool itself is piggybacking on a tool that was developed for the Ministry of Agriculture. But the cost to develop a local iteration are fairly modest at a one-time cost of $5,000. So we're proposing to proceed with that, with most of the funding coming from the Comox Valley Water System on behalf of the participating municipalities, our local governments. And then a small contribution from the village of Cumberland, proportional to their relative size. So should the committee support the recommendation, we will work with municipal staff and the partnership to tailor the tool for the community here. That's it for me. Thanks.
Great.
Any questions?
Thank you, Chris. Do we have any questions or discussion? I just say that I did take a look at it online. It looks really interesting, and I think it looks like a great tool, and look forward to seeing how it all plays out. Okay, so on receipt, anyone opposed to receipt? Seeing none, we'll move on to the recommendation. Moved by Hillian, seconded by Grant, and any discussion on the recommendation, which is to work with the municipalities, not verbatim here, and the Partnership for Water Sustainability on this tool. Seeing no discussion, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, that's carried. And we'll move on to the Comox Valley Water Consumption Report. Grant and Cole Hamilton, and any discussion on this report? Seeing none. Anyone opposed to receipt? Seeing none, that's carried. And the next item is the agreement with Courtney and District Fish and Game Protective Association for works within Comox Lake Lagoon. Okay, thank you. I believe that was Grant and Grieve. Thank you. And we'll move on to staff.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Zoe Berkey, our Senior Engineering Analyst, will be introducing this report, and we're here for any questions you may have. Zoe.
Oh. Go ahead, Zoe. Thank you.
Thank you through the CAO and the chair to the committee. In the fall, the Courtney District Fish and Game Protective Association approached the CVRD requesting to install a fish rearing channel within the lagoon property owned by the CVRD at Comox Lake. In November, at the Water Committee meeting, staff were directed to be a co-applicant on the association's application for the Water Sustainability Act Section 11 notification, subject to a finalized indemnity agreement. The November staff report outlined what the CVRD required the agreement to include, and the agreement attached as Appendix A to this staff report does not substantially differ from that report presented in November. Some of the key components of the agreement are the term of the agreement aligns with the other water agreement we have with the association and will terminate on October 21st, 2042. The association is required and responsible for all works within the lagoon, including qualified environmental professionals, employed qualified environmental monitors to supervise all construction activities. And CVRD is also provided notice within the agreement to review all plans and maintenance within the lagoon. Staff are seeking approval from the Water Committee today to enter into this agreement. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this report. In addition, Wayne is also here from the association if there's any more specific questions you may have for him. That's all for me. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Zoe. And thank you, Wayne, for being here to answer any questions. Do we have any comments or discussion? Okay. Director Hardy, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I know the Comox First Nation has provided some support in the past for this project, and just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention. Fish are our friends, and anything we can do to help enhance fish in the Comox Valley, we should all be in favor of that. Thanks.
Thank you for those comments. Okay, seeing no other lights on, we'll dispense with receipt, and there's a recommendation. Grant, do we have a seconder? Kerr, any discussion on the recommendation? Seeing none, all those, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Director Hillian.
Thanks, Chair. I'd just like to acknowledge Wayne White and the members of the Fish and Game Protective Association. This is just another in a whole series of cooperative endeavors to basically work on the health of our environment, in particular our fish and wildlife. And I think that in Wayne White and his colleagues, we have individuals who spent a lifetime in these endeavors, and I think we're all the better for that. So thanks very much.
Great, thank you, Director Hillian. Great comments, and yeah, I'm always blown away by the number of experienced and knowledgeable folks we have who devote so many hours of their time on conservation. So thanks so much. Okay, so all those in favor of the recommendation? And that's carried unanimously. So we're at, okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Director.
Thanks,
Alternate
Chair.
Director.
Yeah, I had an item under new business if you allow it, Chair. Just wanting to hear from staff. We received correspondence. It's in the director's files, the letter from the city of Courtney on the request for the decrease for the lawn watering for this year. And I'm wondering if staff, I see in the response from staff that there will be a report coming at the May meeting, but there is a May 1st change to stage 1. And so I'm wondering if staff can just speak to that response.
Right. Thanks, Director Jolicoeur. Is there any objection to discussing this on the agenda? Okay, thank you. And we'll turn it over to our CAO. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks for the question. Chris LaRose, Chris and I have already discussed that letter, and certainly there's that plan for the report to come forward through that May cycle. Chris, do you want to provide that context around the stage 1 restrictions that do begin May 1st and the dialogue that we've had with City of Courtenay staff in respect of the request?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, James, through the chair. And so yeah, definitely appreciate the letter from the city. And to James's point, we have worked fairly extensively with staff throughout the late winter and early spring. So the letter and the request was not a surprise. So in regards to your specific question about stage 1, we did contemplate bringing the letter through with a rushed report now, but regardless, we wouldn't have been able to affect, bring forward a bylaw change in time for the May 1st deadline for stage 1. So as we did indicate to staff prior to the letter being drafted, we're in support of making that change, the requested change, or bringing that forward for consideration by the committee for stage 2. But just given the timeline, it's just not practical or possible to make the bylaw change and then communicate it in advance of the shift to stage 1. Because of the automatic shifts to stage 1 and stage 2, it is a fairly narrow window between the two. So I think the bulk of the benefit that we'll see this summer will come from that change to the stage 2 restrictions, which are in place during the driest parts of the summer.
Great, thank you. And a follow-up?
Yeah,
Director
thanks, Chair,
Sullivan?
and thanks for that explanation. I think
Yeah.
the public was really excited about our letter, and so I'm happy to hear that the CVRD is willing to embrace our requests at the city. And I guess I'm just kind of curious for myself, but also for the public. You spoke about that very narrow window between stage 1 and stage 2, and so with the report coming back in May around options for the committee to consider an amendment to the bylaw for stage 2. Will there also be work considered for stage 1 for next year? Because I think we're likely going to be encountering these issues on an ongoing basis. So just wondering if that work will be considered at that report stage as well.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think part of the context is that the letter does request that a 1/3 reduction in watering times take place this year, and that consideration be given to much deeper cuts in watering durations for next year. So I think our thought was that we would bring forward a whole package of changes after the completion of our water master planning process. So I think for now, I think we would likely just make the changes to stage 2. That's what we were planning to do, and then bring forward changes to stage 1 and the other stages as a package after we've finished the water master planning process this fall, well in advance of next year's watering season. So we have lots of time to communicate the changes to the public. Yeah.
Right, I guess that would also allow for all those other learnings out of the planning process to be considered as well. For
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. And we'll go back to a motion for termination. Okay, and all those in favor? Okay, thanks, everybody.